So we're nearing the end. We have the cherry that, if created, will move in the direction, and then it'll hit off the wall as well, and it'll bounce off the wall. Now, what we need to do is we don't want the cherry to just start there. We want it to randomly appear, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the object Pac-Man, and we're going to go to add an event, and let's add a step event, okay? And with the step event, we're going to go and add a test chance. And let's say every 150 means the higher the number, the less frequent it's going to actually happen. So every 150 rolls or chances, whatever you want to call that, you're going to create an instance. All right? And then we want it to create the cherry, right? And then it's asking for the x and y coordinate. We need to actually find what that is. So if we go to room, let's see, let's say we want the cherry to be placed right right here. This is, if I take a look down below right here, when I have my cherry, it's 320 by 384, right? So I'm going to put right here. So you have to recognize what coordinates they were. And they were 320 by 384. That's where they're going to appear. So I went back to the test chance, and now if I play it, they should show up every so often, and they should show up right here. There we go. Now we don't want them to just appear and be there forever. We want to give some incentive and speed things up a little bit. So we want these to actually disappear. That'll be a little bit better rather than just a bunch of them showing up, right? So let's go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back, and instead of 150, I feel like that's too many. I'm going to do 250 and hit OK so that they're not as frequent. And what we want to do is we want this cherry to disappear after maybe, a certain amount of time, so it's not always there. So the cherry randomly appears, right, because of our step event, right, with our test chance. Now we want it to disappear after a certain amount of time. So if we go to our cherry object, we go to add event. Actually, no, we need to create the alarm. So under create, let's go and make the alarm. And this time we're going to call it alarm 1 because we've already used alarm 2. And let's add, let's say, 75. So after a little bit of time, 75 steps, we're going to have it disappear. So we created the alarm. Now we have to assign the alarm. So add event alarm 1, and what is that going to do? Well, that's going to simply destroy the instance. And you can just apply to self because we're already in the cherry. And let's hit OK and test that out. So let's see if the cherry appears and then disappears. So let's kind of just watch them. The cherry appears, they move, and then they disappear. And that's kind of what we want. Every so often, the cherry will appear, and then they will disappear. Right? However, we need to I forgot to add points with the cherry. When the cherry appears, we want to make sure that we get points for it. So let's go ahead and do that right now.